Welcome to another episode of I Welcome You to Kung Fu, the show where I have a guest who is not neck deep in Kung Fu cinema as I am and have them pick one movie from the genre that sparks their curiosity, and I pick a movie that I think goes right along with it. This week, this month, my guest is somebody who is one of the hardest working people, most frequent posters in the film talk community. Someone who loves a bit of variety in his movie watching, with everything from classic black and white films to modern day feel good and feel bad films, and the junk food movies in between. But how does he feel about some old school Hong Kong? Let's figure it out. Derrick, I welcome you to Kung Fu.
Wu-Tang martial expert. There's not many who can match up with him.
What an intro. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm so glad to be on here, talk Kung Fu martial arts. It's a genre that is kind of near and dear to my heart.
Really, what is your what's your experience with it?
Man, so my dad was a big martial arts film fan. We grew up watching The Way of the Dragon, Bruce Lee. I know
Okay.
you have the giant poster back there, but just watching films, even without English subtitles, just watching them in the background, just admiring the kung fu. That and westerns were kind of the two genres of movies that really my dad was really loving.
Okay. So that your the most of your experience there with Kung Fu cinema? Does it go any deeper than that?
I mean, as of recent, I've been picking up a couple of titles in the Criterion. So, revisiting Police Story, for example. You are a big advocate for getting different movies. So, Arrow Video, specifically, I'm a physical media collector, has great selections. And so, trying to get a few of their titles
Right.
here and there as well.
Based on the experience you have, I know you've seen like something like Eight Diagram Pole Fighter. Based on your experience, what are any sort of preconceived or maybe established notions you have about the genre?
Wow. I think the preconceived notions that I had of Kung Fu was that there, a level of depth sometimes, whether it's emotional, political, uh, maybe just going as far as like this is really cool and fun and it's action, and not really diving into a lot of more of the nuances, whether it's the deeper political messaging or why they're making this artistic choice. Of this type of kung fu, or maybe the studio systems at the time. There's a rich, deep history that I didn't really know was ingrained in all these movies.
Right. Yeah, it's something that, like, as someone from way deep in the Kung Fu cinema community, that like the further in you get, you just start to learn a whole lot more. And it's the same thing as, like, a film fan of classic Hollywood or something is going to tell you all about the studio systems, or like what is it, like the code that they all had to work by in like the
Right.
40s or 50s and stuff. So like it's literally the same thing with Hong Kong and really all of martial arts from all around the world. Is you're gonna learn like the lore when you're in it.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
so much history, and so it just only enhances the experience for the martial arts films that I get to watch. And Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee and Sammo Hung, names that I've heard before. Now they're not just names, they're not just legends in that sense. They're deeply human, and I get to understand why
Yeah.
they make the decisions they made.
I like that. I like that mindset. Uh, with your experience, so you've talked some Bruce Lee, which is even older than the films we watched for this, but then you have like the police story behind you, which is a few years after the films we watched. You've got some sort of both before and after here. Watching something that meets in the middle, what did you expect going into these?
Yeah, going into these, I wanted to see where the gap or maybe the transition. I feel like these movies, and I was listening to a little bit of commentary that these movies really were the transition point from maybe the classic Dragon Inn, King Hung, Larkang Leong, like Eight Diagram Pole Fighter, like those movies where it's like strictly martial arts, and then you're introducing more comedy.
Yeah.
And this was there's a few movies or pieces of that physical comedy that really go into police story and that. So it's cool to see this transition point of
Right.
we're getting new faces into the game here.
Yeah, this was it wasn't the exact start, but it was the start of the evolution that they had going. It started a couple years before with even some Magnificent Butcher with Sammo Hung, and then Drunken Master, Fearless Hyena, those kinds of movies. But going into this 1979, 1980 period, this is when our guys here have like fully locked in. They are the superstars, and they're about to change the game.
Yeah.
With that, let's go ahead and jump into our first film, the 1979 Golden Harvest film, Knockabout.
Abbott, I want you to shave my head. If you refuse to help, I swear I'll burn this temple down.
I'm gonna give you a taste of real kung fu.
Directed by Sammo Hung, starring Yuen Biao, Leung Ka-yan, Lau Kar-wing, Sammo Hung, Lee Hoi-sang, Carl Maka, and Mars, among many other people, of course. Knockabout is about two brothers and con men who selfishly begin learning kung fu from a master after he beats them up, but their master may be more dangerous and evil than they previously believed. Derrick, what did you think of Knockabout?
Knockabout was so fun. It was just a riot of I think comedy. We'll talk about the other movie later, but this one definitely had a lot more comedy infused to it. But also specifically, I was not so familiar with is it Yuen Biao?
Yuen Bu is really, I always
Yuen Bu.
mispronounce it, but it's Yuen Bu. Yeah.
Yuen Bu. I was not so familiar with him in general, but his martial arts is incredible. I mean, maybe the best that I have seen. And I mean, as I was learning more, I'm like, he definitely was up there with Sammo Hung, Jackie Chan, like the best of them. But just he was fast, he was fluid. There was almost like a ballet element to the way he was moving. And so I really enjoyed the martial arts and the comedy in this one.
Yeah, the Yuen Bu so this was his first starring vehicle that Sammo Hung gave him. Sammo Hung, again, directed and co-starred this. He is somebody who, for many people, probably is in their top three. He's one that people who are probably on the outside of Kung Fu cinema don't know, but once you get into it, you know him because he's right at the entrance of the gateway. And when I say that, I mean the gateway for me is Jackie Chan. And once you pass through that gateway of Jackie Chan, one of the very first people you see is Yuen Bu.
Okay.
And that's just because so Jackie grew up in a Peking opera school, which Peking opera teaches you fighting, dancing, singing, acrobatics, gymnastics, all that stuff, so that you can do it all on stage. Of course, they end up taking it to the screen. Two of the people, which he grew up with many more of them, two of the people that Jackie Chan grew up in that school with were Sammo Hung and Yuen Bu.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Was there like nickname for them, like the three of them?
They were
there's
part
seven
of
of them.
So the three of them in their movies, they're the three dragons. But when they were kids, they were part of a larger troupe called the Seven Little Fortunes.
Okay, that's the one I was listening to, and I was like, that is so fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, once you get further into them, like that whole group includes other people who were massive stars. I mean, have you seen Kung Fu Hustle?
I have.
So the landlord, remember the landlord in that?
Yeah.
The landlord in Kung Fu Hustle was part of the Seven Little Fortunes.
Okay.
If you've seen like Transporter,
I haven't yet.
or a handful of bunch of other legendary movies, stuntman and director Corey Yuen was part of the Seven Little Fortunes.
Okay.
Like it's a packed.
It's deep.
Group of guys.
Okay.
Yeah. So you of course you saw Yuen Bu there. What did you think of the acrobatics from him?
I mean, kind of like I was saying, it was so like fast, fluid, but has this like element of like ballet. I don't even know how to
Mm.
describe the way he moves. It was very methodical, in the way. I mean, I don't know a ton about martial arts specifics, but yeah, just the performance from him. I just was like, the way you're moving your body feels very like precise, almost like a ballet
He
kind of
is his
technique.
acrobatics. Like I think when it comes to him, Jackie and Samo, because again they're the three dragons, and they made about 7 movies together. So that's where they're in those 7 movies they're sort of recognized as three dragons films. Jackie is probably like the most well-rounded of the three. Samo is of course more like a powerhouse kind of.
Mhm.
But then like Yuen, like he of course his kung fu is great, but he shines with the acrobatics. He has better acrobatics than all three than both of them.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. What did you think of just sort of the style of action we get in this one?
Like that it was interwoven with like the comedy aspects of it. So almost like a physical I don't know if physical comedy and martial arts action infused, but it really was like an interesting like lots of misdirection, lots of like going I don't even know fast fluid crispy techniques. Like there's just like a lot of technical know-how in the choreography that was
Yeah.
really well.
So this was your first. This was probably your introduction to Yuen Bu. Is this your first Sammo Hung movie?
No, I have seen another Sammo Hung movie. I can't remember what movie it is though.
Do you have
But
an
I
idea of what happens in that one?
was it maybe it was the did he make Heroic Executioners? Is that a movie?
Um,
Or
the and
the
there's
Heroic no, the Heroic Trio
a
and
heroic trio. Okay,
yeah.
I
I
think
haven't
he also pops up in like the Valiant ones. I have heroic. Oh wait. Oh yes, heroic trio. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was thinking of a different movie. I was thinking of like the heroic ones, which is a Shaw Brothers film. Yeah, the heroic trio with Sammo Hung, Maggie Chung, and Sammo Hung, Michelle Yeoh, Maggie Chung, and Anita Moy. He may have like produced that one. He probably even has like a cameo in it.
Okay, the one I do remember, I think, is Encounters of the Spooky Kind, or is it?
Yes.
Okay, that's the one I saw him in. I think that's the first film that I was like, okay, this guy is really fun.
Yeah,
But like you were
that's
talking
a
about
big one.
that powerhouse kind of once again going back to that misdirection. There's just a lot of I'm about to hit you this way, and they completely switch and it's like a dance of sorts. It's like I know
Yeah,
which way you're moving, going this way and that way.
he is. I mean, he's arguably my favorite fight choreographer. It's between like him and La Ka Lung, which you brought up La Ka Lung. The bad guy in this movie is La Ka Lung's brother, La Ka Wing.
Okay.
But he's probably my favorite choreographer. He's arguably my favorite director. People think of the kung fu comedy, and the two names they bring up are first Jackie Chan and then maybe Stephen Chow. But I sometimes find Sammo Hung funnier than Jackie Chan.
I could see that. I've from the few films that I've seen, I mean Jackie Chan really is a staple, but Sammo Hung has a specific type of comedy
Yeah, it's very
that
specific.
I feel like would not work for a lot of people, but I do think works specifically for me.
What was your favorite fight scene from this one?
It's hard to always say the final fight,
Right.
but I do think the final fight with Larkar Wing
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
that brother just shows that like um, snappy acrobatic ability from Yuen Biang.
It's just like everything in one.
Yeah, it's like that encompassing moment for everything.
What did you think of the monkey noises coming out of that one?
Interesting.
It's a weird one. It's weird.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice for sure, but I just always find, especially in most kung fu films, there's always something that I'm like, I just maybe don't get it, and that's okay. I feel like an audience would have loved that at the time or even now.
I think the actor who played Yuen Bu's brother is Lung Ka Yan. and he said, I watched an interview with him. He said that this was his first comedy, and I'm like, dude, you're hilarious. You're probably the
Yeah.
funniest guy in the movie.
Wait, that's kind of wild. I really was like, I think you would be entrenched in this like comedic space, just the way he was acting.
Yeah, he had worked with Sammo Hung in Warriors 2, but I believe it's Warriors 2, but he doesn't get it. He doesn't do any comedy in that one. Great fight scene though. But he there's two moments that I love from him that were the funniest, and it's when they're in the casino and they have the first fight in the casino, not the second one, the first one when he doesn't know how to fight.
Yeah.
And he gets punched behind the table and he crawls out from under it, gets kicked behind it, and he just does like a circle like 5 times. I thought that was hilarious. And then when they first fight Lau Ka Wing, and he goes in confident, and then he gets punched in the eye, and he turns around, and he has a black eye, and he finally goes back again, he gets punched again, the other eye's black. Like that seems hilarious.
Yeah. No, you mentioning that casino scene, I really was like, how many times we're going to be going
He does it a
up
lot.
and over this table is just a funny little bit. And, at the end, it turns out to be kind of like a ruse, but that was a funny one.
Like there's like the rule of threes, but he does it like 7 times.
Yeah. He was like, forget it. I'm just going to go with it.
He his interesting thing with his career is that he is not a trained martial artist. He is a dancer.
Okay. Do you know what
And
type
just-
of dance?
I'm not sure exactly what type of dance, but apparently he had a reputation for just like you could give him like 15 moves of choreography and he would remember all of it.
Okay. So
Like he wouldn't have to go study for an hour. He'd be like, got it.
That's wild to me.
Yeah, just one of those like what is it? I'm thinking of, what is it called when somebody just like takes to something like really really savant? That's what it is.
Yes.
Savant.
Mm-hmm. Like his memory's so good. It would take me forever.
Were you surprised by any of the action you saw in this one?
Not necessarily, just in the sense that I'm not always so familiar with the specific types of martial arts. I felt like everything I was just like trying to grasp of like, okay, I don't know if this is, I don't even know the names at times of, is it Wing Chun? And there's just so many different types.
So the weird thing with this movie, because I thought about that too. Of course, we get a lot of like the monkey style at the end, the monkey stuff. But even just watching it, like there's one specific part where I was like he it's in the final fight before he goes to the restaurant and then they fight there. But they're like in the field and he like hits a couple moves on Lau Ka Wing and then he hits a mantis pose. And in my head I just went, yeah, that's some good mantis. But then like he doesn't continue to do more mantis, he does a lot of other stuff.
Right.
And then I found out that the original like the original Hong Kong title essentially translated to miscellaneous kid, because he just does a bunch of different forms of kung fu and it's not just one. Miscellaneous.
Honestly, that would make a lot of sense. I feel like that would make sense to me. I was like trying to piece it together, and there was the confusion, but not in a sense of like this is bad, more just like there's a lot going on here with the martial arts, but I really did like it.
Yeah. I'm going to hit you with a new segment for this episode that I haven't done before, and that is going to be called Kung Fu Fun Fact. Are you ready for a Kung Fu Fun Fact?
I'm ready for it. Hit me with it.
So apparently Sammo Hung was initially meant to play the main character, and Yuen was not even supposed to be in this movie. But both Golden Harvest, the studio that Sammo Hung worked for, the studio was looking for fresh faces, fresh stars, and then, Sammo Hung, just knowing Yuen, them being essentially brothers, Yuen just asked him like, "Hey, can you write a role for me in your movie?" And Sammo Hung was just like, "I'm gonna just kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You can be the lead star. I'll make a new character." So like this character Sammo Hung plays in this wasn't even in the original script. He wrote himself in with that character once he like replaced himself.
Whoa. That is wild. Like, was it did it create dissent between Golden Harvest and Sammo Hung, or
No, they were
was it
looking
just
for
he
fresh
was okay?
faces, and he gave
Yeah.
him fresh face, and they were like, "Yeah, okay, he's a good-looking kid. He's clearly great on screen. Let's do it." And he became a star.
He really did. I mean, you said this was his first kind of big showing, so it's cool to see that this really did propel him, which is awesome.
Yeah, Kung Fu Fun Fact. That's what it was.
Love it.
I think so. The first time I saw this movie, I saw this, I don't know, 6-ish years ago. Yuen was already one of my favorites. Again, when I say Jackie Chan is like the gateway, he's the gateway because he is the superstar. He is the international star. Everybody in the world knows Jackie Chan. So once you start diving into his Hong Kong work, and then like one of the first things you see most of the time, it's one of his most popular movies. And like, you know, if you ever just find like a random box set or something, you usually get a movie called Project A. Have you seen Project A?
No, but I really want to. Yeah.
So that's like the first Three Dragons film. So that's the movie that introduced me to Samo and Yuen.
Oh, awesome.
And so from there, you know, you watch more movies. So I was excited to go into this one, and it ended up being maybe like top 2, top 3 Yuen Bu films. And just like, I think it was from the first fight they have, like where they actually both know how to fight in the casino. I was like, okay, this is amazing. This movie's great.
Yeah. No, I could see that this one, he has those glimpses of, I'm like trying to think of it in the sense of like this being his first action film. I was like, you're a superstar to me. Like, I don't know much about the martial arts Hong Kong space, but the way he even propels himself on screen feels like not like a superhero film, but almost felt like that. He had that energy and charisma to him.
I mean, these movies were practically viewed as like superhero movies. I mean, especially back then, like back in, think of like the early 80s, late 70s, even like in America. Like think of people even in the early 70s. You don't have good special effects to make superhero movies, to make, you know, these big grand. Even Star Wars didn't come until 77. So like you can't do a lot of the crazy shit you do now.
Yeah.
So you have people going to the theaters all around the world, especially in like Chinatown, New York, a lot of those black audiences, and they go see these movies, and you may as well just be watching a real life superhero.
Yeah.
Like, it's because these dudes are doing stuff on screen. It's like, I can't do that.
100%. I was like, I would probably break a bone or multiple bones.
Yeah.
After
so like when the best example of a superhero movie you have is a pretty good looking flying in Superman in like what, 76 maybe, like, you know, watching a dude do like three backflips in the air before kicking someone in the face. You're like, yeah, that's a superhero, man.
No, I get that. I really is. That really does make a lot of sense, it being a superhero film.
Yeah. What did you think of the? Were you taken off guard by the dramatic tonal change when Lung Ka Yan dies?
Yes, because up until that point, or there was multiple points where I was like, I'm sensing maybe something deeper is about to happen. Like, there's definitely moments where I'm like, okay, we're feeling like that energy of we're trying to have a message or try to be deep. But until then, it was like, this is strictly just comedy and martial arts. And then that hits, and you're like, okay, here we are.
Yeah. Were you surprised by that reveal of the master ended up being like some like serial killer?
A little bit, yeah, because I wasn't really like tracking with that like storyline. It felt like it was. I just remember being like, okay, we're going in a direction that was not expecting.
Yeah, I mean, you get the cop played by Mars just sort of sniffing around, but you never really know exactly what he's sniffing around for.
100%. His whole character was like just a funny shtick to me. That cop character.
Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts here on Knockabout?
Well, I mean, if anyone's listening that isn't into martial arts, I would tell people to watch Knockabout. Sammo Hung, Yuen Biao. Sorry, I probably continue to mess that up, but they are incredible. The misdirections, the techniques, and the acrobatics, like you said, are phenomenal in this.
It is fantastic. Again, it's definitely one of my favorite early Yuen Bu films, because what we sort of mentioned with, like, you brought up how you saw something about how this was like a shift in like the action stylings at the time. It's not just the comedy. Comedy ends up being more established in 77, 78 with, again, Magnificent Butcher, Snake and Eagle, Shadow, Drunken Master, that kind of stuff. But they end up sort of ushering in, like, they get away from this old school style of choreography. Like, it's something called shapes, where it's, You can see like the movements they do, where it eventually just sort of becomes like kickboxing.
Okay.
Like they get away from traditional kung fu, and it just becomes how would somebody fight in real life, but also still make it flashy.
That makes sense. I feel like there was quite a bit of watching those older kung fu films. There's a lot more cuts in this.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, shapes kind of zoom in. I think is it crash zooms or something like that, where
Something
they're
like that,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah. And like
going
old
in.
school Bruce Lee films.
Yes, yes, like going into like what are the hands doing, kind of going back out, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, and it is something that is sort of more established in those old school Bruce Lee films. Like Bruce Lee was a what is it called? I'm trying to blank on this word. A lot of people in the industry did not like him because the style of action then was based on Peking opera, so it was traditional.
Right.
Whereas he comes in and they say, "Hey, do Peking opera," and he's like, "I don't know." Bruce Lee's just like, "I don't know how to do Peking opera. I know how to kick that guy in the face, so I'm gonna go kick that guy in the face."
Right.
I don't know how to do Peking opera, but I know how to throw a punch. I'm just gonna throw a punch.
And he does it well.
Yeah, and so that's sort of something that it takes them almost a decade, but they end up sort of recreating that arguably much better into the early 80s.
Okay, that makes sense.
And with that, let's go ahead and jump into 1980 with our next film, the 1980 movie from Golden Harvest as well, The Young Master.
My tiger kung fu is better than yours.
I'm searching for my brother, Tiger.
I'm gonna make a deal with Inspector for your release.
I've come to take you back to the inspector.
Directed by Jackie Chan, starring Jackie Chan, Qian Shi, Huang Ying-sik, Yuen Biao as well, Lily Lee, Wei Pai, Li Hoi Song, and Harkon Fung. The Young Master is about a kung fu student who goes on a self-appointed journey to bring back his expelled friend who has fallen in with bad company. But the journey is made even more difficult when when our protagonist is, I guess, misidentified as a known criminal. How did you feel about The Young Master?
The Young Master was fun from the get-go. You start off, I know we'll probably talk about our favorite parts, but specifically the opening sequence with the lion dancing, I was hooked. Like it really was just a fun, like we're getting straight into kind of action set pieces. Jackie Chan, young Jackie Chan, it was kind of surreal to see him. I mean, I've seen him in a little bit, I've seen Drunken Master, but just seeing a young Jackie Chan was just fun to see, being like, oh, he's really energetic, really moving here. And so really had a good time with this one as well.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is this your earliest Jackie Chan movie?
No, I think thinking about Drunken Master I've seen. I think that's 70s, I believe.
Yeah, Drunken Master is 2 years before this in 78.
Yeah. So I think that this is probably my first Jackie Chan. I mean, this is his first directed film.
This is his second directed. His first was Fearless Hyena in 79.
Okay, I haven't seen Fearless Hyena, so this is the first one I've seen directed by him, the earliest one.
Yeah, in terms of first, this was his first directed under Golden Harvest, the production studio, whereas that's where a majority of his best stuff comes from. Like in the 70s, he's under a producer named Lo Wei's production company, and then he works for, I think, Seasonal Films under Yuen Wu-ping. And then all the 80s stuff, all of it, all the 90s stuff that's not Hollywood, every single bit of it is Golden Harvest. So Police Story, all the Three Dragons films, every single one of them is Golden Harvest.
Well, this you can tell, like this was the money maker because
this was the one that
really
gave him
good.
money too.
Yeah.
This is the first one where they're like, "Oh, you want more budget? You got it." And he's like, "Thank you." So you've seen modern Jackie Chan. You've seen the 85 Jackie Chan with like Police Story. How did you feel about this style of Jackie Chan action? Because I think this style of Jackie Chan in action is even different than what you get in Drunken Master as well.
Yeah, like I said, it felt youthful. and maybe even more reckless in a way. Like I think I've seen other films from him where I'm like, okay, you're doing some bigger stunts maybe, but this one just felt like the way he was moving felt even more like reckless to a degree. So
he just there's moments in this, and he does it again later in another movie he directed called Dragon Lord, which I love very much, where there's moments where, like, even though he's a character who knows kung fu, he just throws it all away and starts flailing.
yes.
Like, there's moments where he's just moving his arms like crazy, and I'm like, you're not doing anything.
Like, I don't know what style of kung fu that is, but that's my style
just
of kung fu.
angry.
It's just yeah.
But like, and I love that stuff very much because that's usually when he's getting his ass kicked. And it's like, it's not, it doesn't happen much in the later movies, but like, again, in this and in Dragon Lord, like, anytime he just starts moving like that, it's usually because he's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, which for the like almost 90% of this film, that's what's happening with him. He's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, and even like, and then like the final fight of this, like, it's he's not getting beat up and playing it for comedy. He's just getting beat up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. What were your thoughts on that final battle where he's just flailing?
It was so funny because I was literally actually listening to a commentary on it, but apparently that took almost a month and a half to shoot. And the style of kung fu, I don't know what the style of kung fu the kind of last villain master was doing, but just a lot of kind of grabbing his arm, a lot of twists of his arm.
Yeah.
And so seeing him just flailing for almost like 30 minutes of that sequence of just him getting caught, kind of moving, and just knowing it took about a month and a half was kind of funny to see that in real time.
And yeah, I think I saw something saying that like it took them about a month and a half, which is pretty on par for Jackie, because like his most famous recording of something like that is the final fight of Drunken Master 2. Apparently took 3 months. And so apparently that came down to him getting like 30 seconds of footage a day. And so apparently for this, it was like they would get like two or three moves of choreography that he was happy with every other day. And then they'd be like, all right, we got to go back and redo that part over again.
Yeah. Well, and you can even see the differences in the sun and the way it's over the mountains and the way the shadows are kind of moving. It's really funny.
I think even watching them back to back was much easier to notice. I think the final fight of this takes place like in the same field, the same location as the final fight of Knockabout. Like not the first part at the restaurant, but when he first encounters his master and they start fighting there, I'm like, oh, that's the same like hilltop.
Yeah, when I was listening to some commentary, they were saying that's where a lot of different kung fu films have just been shot, like in that specific either it's a final fight sequence or just a mid fight sequence. It's a pretty popular spot.
Yeah, it's like when you watch like Power Rangers.
Yes.
And you're like, I saw this quarry last season.
That's a good shout.
It's always the same locations. So the villain in this is Huang Ying-sik, who he's phenomenal in this. His introduction is like the coolest villain introduction I've ever seen. Almost just the way he just immediately he gets up off that like cart that he's like chained to, and just starts kicking everybody.
It was going back to that superhero, supervillain kind of idea. That's how he felt like he was introduced to me. It was like you're getting this like crash zoom into him. You kind of have like the posse waiting for him and they're helping fight off everyone else, but it was so cool, like almost like a western movie is
you get those crash zooms with him.
Yeah, just him. And there's a moment too where like going back to we were talking about Knockabout, and there was just like back and forth. There's a sequence in there where it was just a zoom into him and a zoom into another character and back to him and back to him. Like it was just a funny kind of sequence, but he really felt intimidating with his screen presence.
Yeah. And you brought up that lion dance at the beginning. I didn't care for the lion dance scene in my for me, and it just comes down to having seen so many of them in movies, where I'm like, this movie and this movie have better ones.
Okay.
Like I forgot, honestly, I've forgotten all about it. I forgot it was in this movie, but a couple months ago, 2 episodes ago, with I've already forgotten the dude's name on TikTok, but that guy, I'll remember it. Doctor or something. Medical movie man. You know that guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We watched Martial Club.
Okay.
And Martial Club starts with a lion dance, and it is incredible. And then there's one in like the middle of the movie in Martial Arts of Shaolin with Jet Li. And like that one, I'm like, that's like one of my favorite ones. So coming to this one, I was like, this one's not as good.
I mean, that's fair. I feel like for me, I mean, I was also learning the history of lion dance, and it's supposed to signify good luck. So I'm sure there's so many that you've seen that probably have better either choreography or.
Well, I think this one's probably like this one is, I guess, probably maybe not as well made for me because it's more character based. That scene in this movie,
right,
where you were seeing Jackie Chan and then his like essentially brother on the other side as the head of the other lion. Mm-hmm. So I guess because this one's more character based, there's not as much cool stuff going on for me.
Okay, that makes sense. It's more emotional than great action.
Yeah. Are you ready for another Kung Fu fun fact?
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
Kung Fu fun fact. So you may have heard about this in the commentary for this one, but this is a story I've read about many times. And that is about the Triad's involvement in the production of this movie. Did you hear about this?
No.
So I brought up Jackie's previous director and producer, Lo Wei, earlier. These are two people who did not have a good relationship. Lo Wei understood the star power that Jackie Chan had, but he never knew how to like control it. And when I say that, I mean every Lo Wei Jackie Chan movie, 99% of Lo Wei Jackie Chan movies are bad. Okay. He didn't know how to make a good Jackie Chan movie. And so this is like years into their relationship. This is, again, Jackie Chan's first Golden Harvest movie. But apparently, according to Lo Wei, Jackie Chan was still under contract with him. Wow. So Lo Wei gets the Triads involved. And he has them on set threatening people. And apparently they attempted some arson, tried to set some fires. And as if it was straight out of The Godfather, somebody on set finds a severed dog's head.
No.
Yeah. And the only way it was all sort of resolved is the one-armed swordsman himself, Jimmy Wang Yu, the actor and producer, director maybe, he had a lot of pull with the Triads, and he was friends with Jackie. And so Jimmy Wang Yu goes down to Lo Wei's office with some Triads, rips up whatever Lo Wei says was a contract,
right,
and gets Jackie Chan out of it.
That's sick.
Yeah, and it ended up coming down to like later on, like Jackie and Samo just had to do like 2 movies for Jimmy Wang Yu.
Yeah,
that he's just like, here to return the favor, just do these movies for me. But yeah, Jimmy Wang Yu pulled some muscle.
Yeah,
and got him out of that contract.
I mean, it still came out to be a great movie, so I guess it kind of helped.
Severed dog's head, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kung Fu fun fact. That was it. I like that fun fact. It's crazy. It's just like a crazy story.
No, that's wild.
I'd be interested to hear about like mafia stories in like the old Hollywood system, or even like there's got to be some crazy Yakuza stories in like Japanese movies, but like Triads getting involved and trying to like threaten people to ruin a movie is nuts.
It's wild to think about. Yeah.
What do I got here? You brought up the Hwanging Six sort of like moving stuff and doing like joint locks and stuff. So that is probably just Hwanging Six like winging it on the day, because he is like a proper Hapkido practitioner. Okay. So he like knows a bunch of locks. So Jackie Chan was probably just like, what can we do? Just do it right. Do it right now.
Right. Just hit me with as many. I mean, it looked excruciating. I know to a degree, like there are real hits and maybe they slow it down just a little bit, but those it looked painful.
Yeah, this was an era of a lot of real hits, especially. I mean, Jackie is one big culprit from it, but apparently Samo is very, very bad for it. And like so, like this the stunt system. I know, especially later in the '80s, there's a great documentary called Kung Fu Stuntman, and there's like, imagine like day laborers like waiting. Like they have like a specific area where like you wait for a phone to ring and you're like, oh, they need guys over here at this. Hop in the truck and go. Stuntmen would like be waiting by a payphone or by a phone, and they would wait for it to ring. And like, if they picked it up and someone says, oh, I need 3 stunt guys who can do this over on this location, and they would just run over to that location, get paid, do the job, whatever. But apparently if it was Sammo Hung, like most guys were just like, I'm out.
Really?
Not going.
Because of him like his specific choreography, or just him
So either
specifically?
because he's going to hit you, or he's going to make you do a stunt that is really going to hurt.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Jackie and Samo were both big on hitting people pretty good. I mean, especially because Jackie Chan has a whole stunt team that he trusts.
Right.
So like Jackie Chan has a stunt team that knows how to take his hits, knows how to take his falls, knows how to do his choreography. But if you were just like a dude who if you were a guy who just came to the job and you weren't like one of his core crew, and he hits you, you're like, what the fuck?
You're gonna feel that.
Yeah. Whereas, he has like a whole group of like 30 guys who are like, I'll do it, boss.
Yeah. Now that makes it. He kind of has yes men who are ready for it.
There's a great video from about 10 years ago. Jackie Chan, being as old as he is, has gone through like several different stunt teams. So there's a video of him on stage, and there's like a curtain up behind him, and he's facing away from the curtain, facing the crowd, and he's standing on stage, and the curtain opens up, and it's his very first stunt team standing behind the curtain, and he turns around and he just starts bawling.
Yeah, I would.
It's crazy. I mean, especially you got to think those are guys who like were with him in like the 80s.
Yeah,
and they were like they went to war together.
Yeah,
the stunts they did in those movies. I mean, you've seen Police Story. The stunts they do in those movies, they were at war.
They were being thrown. I know there was, once again, I think what I like about Jackie Chan, specifically in this movie and most of his movies, is his endurance. I think you were saying, going back to, he takes a lot of hits. Even though he sometimes is the hero in a lot of his stories, I don't see a lot of other martial artists getting hit as much as Jackie Chan does.
Yeah. I mean, you see it a little bit in some modern movies, but a lot of them, like, they know exactly how to pull it, whereas sometimes back then with certain people, it was just like, no, the only way to get a good shot is to hit me.
Right.
So just hit me.
Right.
Yeah. They're like, I'm not cutting here. I'm not setting up a new angle. The camera's right there. Hit me.
100%.
Which, I mean, they made a lot of good movies doing that.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about, have you seen Meals on Wheels?
Yeah.
I think there was a sequence very early on where it's like there's 2 levels. It's like a 2-level situation of this apartment, high rise.
Yeah, they have like an apartment over a store. Yeah.
Yes, and they pull whatever visor
like
or
awning,
and they hit. And I was like, that looks like a real hit. Like that looks like a real
Jackie
fall.
Jackie does the first jump. Jackie jumps first, and he gets to bounce off the awning.
Yes.
And then like the joke being like, oh, now the store owner sees it and he retracts the awning as Yuen jumps, and Yuen Bu's the one who just
hits it,
lands on his butt, and it's like, you gotta have broken something.
See,
I mean, they maybe
powder.
had like a pad down there or something.
Maybe something, but even then I was like, it's still, I mean, we're using baby powder or something else to kind of amplify it. But I
love baby powder. I love it. I mean, I think they called it power powder, but I love it so much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that or dust or something. I'd love just a good effect where it's just like boom and whoosh, dust come off. I'm like, that's so beautiful. That's so good. Yeah. It's just I don't know. It's practical special effects.
Yes, I agree.
I'm not going to hit you as hard as I could, but it's going to look really, really good. And we're not going to use CGI or nothing, but there's just going to be some powder
coming out of your head for who knows what reason.
And sometimes there's too much. Like when you watch Project A, there is a scene in full slow motion and zoomed in where he kicks a guy in the head, and the amount of powder that comes off his head is stupid. Like there's one thing of like, oh, a little bit of dust or a little bit of powder. No, right. It's like they covered his head in baby powder and then just kicked him, and you just see, and it's like, that's dumb, and I love it.
Yeah, it works for that specific moment.
Yeah. I mean, there's some still people still today that kind of do the hits. There's a group called Marshall Club.
Okay.
They're YouTube guys who they choreographed and fought Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Awesome.
And so whenever they do fight scenes or movies where they get to fight each other, because they're brothers and they've spent their whole lives training together, they trust each other to kick each other in the head. They're like, yeah, we need the shot. You're my brother. Kick me.
That's wild.
Yeah,
and they go for
so
it.
fun.
They go for it.
Yeah.
But you'd rather that than they pull a cut or something like that.
No, I mean, it's like I can't stand in a lot of Hollywood movies where somebody throws a kick and then we're gonna cut 2 or 3 times to 2 different angles, where you're gonna see the initial launch of the kick and then you're gonna see a bad angle of the connection, and then you're gonna cut back to the person putting the foot back down, and I'm like, you don't get to just tell me that I saw a kick.
Yes.
Show me a kick.
I agree.
Like, that's the issue with a lot of Western action filmmaking is we're going to tell you saw something, but whereas old school kung fu, Thai action, Indonesian action, we're not going to tell you anything. We're going to show you everything.
Yeah. And you're going to feel it. Like, you almost feel that they got hit.
You're going to whinge a little bit because it looks like it really, really hurt.
Right.
But I mean, they had stunt guys sometimes. Like, Jackie has the reputation of does all his own stunts. No, he doesn't.
No.
Like, I can name two of his stuntmen right now. I can tell you at least one moment in this movie where he stunt doubled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, there's the moment where during the lion dance, when he like swings down off like the high rise part, like stunt double.
Yeah. Like when you watch, that was something that I remember watching remember hearing that, like, people were like, he does his own stunts. And then you clearly watch something and you're like, there's no shot that was, I mean, they hide it really well for the most part but once you pick up on a few times, you can really see those differences.
Well, and once you've seen enough of them, you start to recognize certain people, you recognize certain stuntmen. Mm-hmm. And I even had that today with like a lot of like Thai action. Like I've seen enough Thai movies where I recognize like Thai stuntmen. But like there's a stunt guy he stars in his own movies just as much, and not just as much, but in plenty of them. Called Chin Ka Lok, and it's just gotten to the point where I'm like, I know how that guy moves.
Right.
So if I see Jackie Chan jump up and do some spinning kick, I'm like, no, that was Chin Ka Lok.
Right.
I know how that guy kicks, and I know what his head looks like. That was Chin Ka Lok.
Right. That was not Jackie.
Mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't mind. I still love it. It's great. Do you have any final thoughts on the young master here?
Yeah, the young master, it was not as comedic maybe as Knockabout if we're comparing the two, but I still liked the comedy here. But I really, once again, going back to that endurance of Jackie Chan's character and the fight sequences where I'm like, it feels so durable in the way that he just takes hits continually throughout this film. Yeah, no,
he, like you said, it's the endurance, and every single one of those guys has endurance, and it comes from the Peking Opera School background, like Yuen, Sammo Hung, Yuen Wah, Corey Yuen, every single one of those guys that came out of the Peking Opera School, all the Seven Little Fortunes, all those guys. Endurance is the name of the game because growing up you had to have endurance or you got beaten. That's pretty much what it comes down to. It's like, keep doing flips, keep doing kicks, keep singing those high notes, keep doing whatever the teacher tells you to do, or he's probably going to hit you.
Yeah. And also, I forgot to add, too, there's a lot of great shot selection here as well. There's a lot of dolly shots, a lot of like going back to the crash outs or crash zooms. There's a wide variety I feel like they were trying to incorporate in this movie. Felt like maybe Jackie Chan was just trying out a bunch of stuff but I really like the variety of choices that were in this film as well.
There's some really good foreshadowing during the lion dance at the beginning, where the other team's lion kicks away the stool
Yes.
And then later on, Yuen Bu's character comes in, and like his main weapon being a stool, and it just how much like a stool is like an annoyance to him
Yeah.
throughout the movie. That's always a lot of fun. The stool is one of my favorite random weird weapons in this movie, and in all of kung fu movies, really.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that like the just everyday object? What are the top like three that you like the most? A bench, a stick, a broom.
I mean, just I guess the main one you always think of is Rumble in the Bronx in the clubhouse fight, where he starts. He uses a like a ski as like a staff in that.
Okay, I haven't seen the film, so I'm gonna trust you.
I don't love it. A lot of people will say it's like a top 5 Jackie Chan movie, and I'm like, top 20.
Okay,
but that's a really, really, really good fight scene.
Yeah.
Did you recognize? I just remembered this. Did you recognize the sort of sheriff character in this one?
No.
So that was Qian Shi, which he is Mr. Han. He's the main villain from Enter the Dragon.
Yes. Okay.
I really liked his chemistry with Jackie. He had generally, I mean, as much as he was definitely stunt doubled, like, because you can tell anytime he has a fight scene and you only see the back of his head, he's clearly being stunt doubled, which is fine. But like the little bit of action you see from him, his comedic timing, his dialogue with Jackie, I'm like, why didn't you two make more movies together? Because those two, like, they just had really good chemistry.
No, I agree. He also came in, his first shot with him and Jackie Chan was just the back of his head, or he was sitting in a rocking chair stool situation, and you don't even see his face. So, but I agree. They had great chemistry.
I think they knew that they had, even though it was not a Hong Kong movie, it was an American movie. They knew that they had the villain from one of the most famous Bruce Lee movies of all time.
Yeah.
So even Hong Kong audiences would be like, "Oh, it's that guy." So like he's on screen for a solid like 2 minutes before you see his face.
Yeah.
Because they wanted like a dramatic reveal of like, it's Mr. Han.
100%. I mean, I did that. I literally was like, wait, I think I know that guy.
We love Qian Shi. Let's jump into a few final questions here for you. Did you enjoy your trip, or did you have any final thoughts on your trip into I'd say really late 70s, because even though this is a 1980s movie, it came out in 1980, it's very much a 1970s movie in my opinion. So did you have any thoughts on your trip into late 1970s Jackie and Samo?
Yeah. I think I love martial arts films in general, but I really enjoyed, once again, seeing that energy shift or transitional shift of what Hong Kong kind of was and what it's becoming. And I feel like that 70s era, specifically with these films, were really cool.
Yeah, and I love this era as much as I love the 1980s. I love seeing this like middle period, because if you do look at Magnificent Butcher, Warriors 2, Iron Fisted Monk, which are Sammo Hung movies, or you look at, all the I say awful low way films, Half a Loaf of Kung Fu, Spiritual Kung Fu, Snake and Eagle Shadow, very like mid 70s Jackie Chan stuff. Like you can clearly see it's like, oh, we're still in, I'd even say like almost like pre-old school. We're still in tradition. Whereas this late 1970s period, you can see them like etching out, like you can see the egg cracking of this tradition, and they're about to break out of it.
Agreed. There's a lot of energy infused in these movies.
Yeah. Do you feel compelled to dive further into the old school kung fu genre?
100%.
Hell yeah. Do you have any sort of like areas you'd be looking to go, or like any questions like of like what's over there?
I mean, I do always want to know what your recommendations are. I love getting recs for I don't know where to go from here other than just watching more, because I feel like I can go back some more so I can get more information on traditional martial arts kung fu, or I can go even further into the future. I feel like I know some 80s, but there's still a lot of blind spots in that time period that I've not seen either.
I mean, I'll tell you, I'll tell you something going a little bit backwards, and I'll tell you something going a little bit forwards. I would say going backwards into the 70s, sticking with Samo and Jackie, is Fearless Hyena, Jackie's first directorial film. Because what I love so much about this and Fearless Hyena is with Lo Wei, his previous director in like the mid 70s, is Jackie had not discovered himself yet. Jackie had not discovered the comedic action that we love him for today. There's like a little bit of it. He's goofy, but that's kind of it. Whereas in Snake and the Eagle's Shadow is his first film under Yuen Wu-ping. Who, do you know Yuen Wu-ping?
I don't think so.
I mean, you've seen The Matrix, right?
Okay. Yes.
He is the fight choreographer on The Matrix.
Okay, that makes sense.
And Kill Bill and a bunch of stuff. But that was their first collaboration. Yuen Wu-ping directing Jackie in Snake and the Eagle's Shadow. And that's where both of them bring out the best in each other there. And they start to discover their comedic kung fu style. And then they do it better in Drunken Master. But then Jackie directs himself in Fearless Hyena. And that's where I think he's like, got it. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
But then I think Young Master is the final nail in that coffin of like, this is what I'm doing.
Right. He's kind of found that style that he's going for.
Yeah, so I think each of them as they go, those 4 movies, Snake and Eagle's Shadow, Drunken Master, Fearless Hyena to Young Master, are just their progression, every single one of them.
Right.
For Samo, so Fearless Hyena to go backwards for Jackie. For Samo, I mean, it's Magnificent Butcher.
Okay.
Which the funny thing with that one is that one's also directed by Yuen Wu-ping.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Yuen Wu-ping is the person who is responsible for bringing out the best in a lot of young performers early.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like Jackie Chan gets the credit for kung fu comedy, but it's like you can't have that kung fu comedy without Yuen Wu-ping.
So he's the guy.
Yeah, I think he's got that something special that Sammo Hung was doing some good stuff before that,
Right.
but then with Yuen Wu-ping, it's like, no, this is what we're doing. It's good.
Right. He kind of had
Yeah.
the sauce to it. I like that.
Right. And I mean, the one to watch going forward, so like there's 2 movies going backwards. The one to watch going forward is Project A.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the first 3 Dragons films, so Samo, Yuen, and Jackie. And it's kind of that first one of them kind of truly breaking out some new action styles.
Okay. I'm excited.
It's good. It's so good. My last question for you here, did you have fun?
I had a blast.
Hell yeah.
I love martial arts films like we've talked about. They are not only just a lot of fun watching people kick and hit each other, but also, like I said, they do get emotional sometimes out of left field, but like they kind of hit you. So it's been a blast to kind of be on this journey, getting to learn even the history and subtext behind some of my people that I grew up watching.
Yeah, I mean, the weird, I guess, emotionality of Kung Fu cinema, and I think it just comes from like is emotionality a word? I don't even know. I think it just comes from like, I don't know, I guess Jackie Chan is just so known for like Kung Fu comedy, especially in his American stuff. And it's something I kind of hold against his American stuff, and I'll talk about that for a minute. But people are so used to like just goofy Jackie that they think, oh, Kung Fu movies just mean fun, goofy, good time and watch some cool fight scenes. And like, no, there's some Kung Fu movies and martial arts movies from all around the world, Thailand, South Korea, especially Indonesia, where like they'll hit you with a truly jaw-dropping fight scene and then they're just gonna like rip your heart out at some point.
Right.
Not all of them, but some of them.
Right. I just watched like Peking Opera Blues. I forgot who directed Sue Hark.
Chui Hark.
Sue Hark. Yeah, and that one it's one of my favorite movies of all time now. But I was blown away by how emotional and deeply kind of political that movie got.
I mean, like 2 good examples of ones that get emotional that are like modern movies. Like people praise the South Korean film The Man from Nowhere for specifically one amazing fight scene. It is entirely just a good movie. It's kind of just a South Korean Taken.
Right.
It's about have you seen South Man from Nowhere?
No, but it's been on my. You've recommended that movie to me before.
Yeah, so it's about a dude who his neighbor is his a little girl, and they build a friendship, and then she gets abducted, and he has to go get her back. So it's just taken, but it gets all the praise for the fight scenes, but then like try to get to the end of that movie and not like at least shred a tear.
Right.
And then like Madantau, which is like the guy who did The Raid, Gareth Evans, that's his first movie. And like, yeah, there's a bunch of amazing fight scenes. The end of that movie gets me every single time. I will shred a tear for that movie every single time.
Okay.
It's great. But yeah, like with Jackie and like his like American perception is kind of just comedy.
Right.
And it's he's going to use the props. He's going to be goofy during all of his fight scenes. Whereas with me, for like, if you go to like old school Jackie Chan, I'm like, no, he's going to throw down a great fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, he's going to be a little bit funny, but when it comes down to that final fight, he's going to get serious and it's going to get freaking hardcore and brutal.
No, I agree.
I mean, like the final fight of Wheels on Meals, that movie's a comedy. That final fight is just an amazing fight.
Right. They go into it. Yeah. It's crazy to think like we know most people know Police Story if they know Jackie Chan. Most people know Rush Hour, honestly, if they know Jackie Chan. But like you're saying, thinking about his deep catalog of martial arts, Drunken Master, Young Master,
Yeah.
like it's good to see those films and be like, oh no, there's a reason why he's a legend in the game.
Yeah, and even like Drunken Master 2, Legend of Drunken Master, like he's going to, it's a Drunken Master movie, and he's going to do some goofy drunken kung fu, and he's going to tell a joke and be a goofball. The end of that movie is an awesome, brutal 7-minute fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, he's like, again, the American perception of Jackie is just goofy comedy guy, and I'm like, yeah, he's going to be a goofy comedy guy, but pay attention to this amazing fight scene he's going to throw down.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, Derrick, go ahead and tell people where you're at.
Well, you guys can follow me on TikTok and on Instagram at SimiViews, SIMI.views. I also have a website, simiviews.com. I've been working on getting some stuff out there, maybe even Substack, but I make movie content like Martial Arts Film Freak has been saying about a lot of stuff, whether it's classics or black cinema or even trying to dabble into martial arts. My goal is to make movies as accessible as possible for people to dive into that, and TV, and even incorporating some anime here and there.
Hell yeah. And that's my goal with martial arts and kung fu from around the world. So yeah, go follow him, do all that. Go follow him on the TikTok, Instagram. I will have every link available in the info down below. You know where to follow me. I am Martial Arts Film Freak on Facebook, Martial Arts Film Freak on Instagram, TikTok. You're already here on the YouTube. Twitter sometimes. I don't care for Twitter very much. But yeah, all those things. Do all those places. Like, share, and subscribe. Go follow Derrick. Go follow all the socials. They will be down below. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of I Welcome You to Kung Fu. And if this is your first time watching just because you love some Jackie Chan, or if this is your first time watching because you followed Derrick from TikTok, well, I welcome you to Kung Fu.